Finally, it's summer. We've decided to tip our cowboy hats to the good folks of Lone Star State with the Texas BBQ.
We'll kick things off with a Southern-style margarita full of fresh citrus and some fine tequila. Serve your guests an array of appetizers that put your own spin on the traditional barbecue. Pimento cheese spread, Texas caviar, pulled chicken sliders, ranch-style beans, and jalapeno cornbread are as easy to eat as they are delicious.
And casual flowers in mason jars, rockin' barbecue tunes to set the mood, and a party game all about dads make this a celebration for Father's Day or just about the sun being out.
Giddy up. Hello and welcome to the cocktail segment of our show. Always the most fun. Obviously, since we're going south of the Mason-Dixon line to the very deep south, to your roots,
state of Texas,
we will be doing something that is very close to the southern end of the Rio Grande. We are going with the Margarita. And we're going to do a fun and macho margarita for our dads and something that we all enjoy. So this time we're going to be actually making our own margarita mix, which I gotta be honest, I often buy the stuff in the supermarket, but we have gone ahead and squeezed fruit till our little fingers stung with acid. And so we went ahead and did that beforehand just so you wouldn't have to watch that painful process.
watching us squeeze lines.
So
Riveting.
For 4 fabulous margaritas, we squeezed 2 limes per glass, and then 2 oranges, and
roughly,
exactly, maybe a tiny bit less on the oranges. And it doesn't look like much, but we've filled our mason jar, again, Mason-Dixon, and we're going to add light agave nectar, which our southern compadres consider sugar. And so for each drink, we are mixing 2 tablespoons of agave into that citrus mixture. So
already put 4.
Yeah, so Jen's going to put the other 4 in. We've also gone ahead, 2 of us like to salt our rims and 2 of us don't. Your guess who. So just to do that, what we're going to do is just take an extra lime and we're going to go right ahead and right around the rim just to get it nice and wet. And then we have the salt sombrero, which we will...
Nothing says Texas like salt sombrero.
Boom, just like that. And it makes it really festive and cute. So let me do the second one. As Jen is now stirring the agave into the fruit mixture, so that sugar will cut some of the acidity. And since we will be adding tequila, you're going to want that sugar. It seems like a lot, but it's really not.
Yeah, that'll be perfect.
And so then we went ahead and we went with the silver tequila, which comes with agave in it, and this recipe really calls for that, so that it's a little sweeter, a little lighter. It's not going to have that taste that you might recall from, was it Jose McIntyre's? Anyway, so for 2 of our glasses, we've gone ahead right here and already added the ice.
Yeah, there's the other.
And we'll do the ice to the salty mixtures. And I'm going to go ahead and put a shot of tequila in each.
Be generous.
That's right, heavy-handed meek, we've been known. They didn't call our dad Wild Bill for nothing.
Love tequila. I love good tequila.
It
doesn't always love me back, but I love it.
There was an entire decade that I had to avoid it.
A whole decade?
A whole decade. It was.
Do tell.
We had a very poisonous evening. I blame both of my older sisters. I was young and impressionable.
No, it couldn't have been their fault.
And we were doing upside-down shots on a bar somewhere. We won't say that. Okay, so Jen is going to go ahead and pour some of the mixture in. And then if you want to do this in a pitcher in advance, it's nice to have some cut fruit in there as well, just to give it some color and some additional taste. So I'm going to go ahead and put an orange and a lime in each.
I think we need to ice this up a little bit more too, because the tequila is going to make the ice melt.
Absolutely.
So I won't do that on camera because it's loud and obnoxious, but we'll put some more ice in it later.
So yeah, so this gives it a nice citrusy feel. It is summer.
Garnish.
and we obviously want to have some color. And tequila
our glasses
packs
and on our skin. It's been a long winter.
It has. You can sit outside at night with no coat and drink one. All right, ladies, are you ready?
Are you kidding?
Let's give it a quick.
Oh, I'm a salty girl.
Quick mix.
Oh,
That's right.
take my
Here we go.
salt.
Here we go.
Got it? Am I stirred?
Oh, that's
You're
right.
stirred. Yep, you're salt. There we go.
And you need a
Get
quick
all of our stuff straight here.
I'm gonna go with a little yeehaw. Okay.
Yeehaw.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. Oh, this is really good.
Really good.
Yes.
I like the orange with it.
I love the orange. New for me. I really like
Very
it.
good.
Okay, we'll see how we're doing at the end of the segment.
Cheers.
Okay, so we've arrived at food.
Yippee!
Pretty much the quintessential part of a barbecue. It's kind of hard to have one without it.
Although I think that this party is very interesting because there's really no grilling, because grilling requires someone standing over and flipping stuff. So
And that's usually the dad.
So yeah, we're gonna make it easy on Dad this time around. Okay, talk about easy. We're gonna start off with some pulled chicken sliders. When I say easy, I'm talking hardcore easy. This is one of those slow cooker, crock pot recipes. Literally, all you're gonna do is take 3 chicken breasts, plunk them into the slow cooker. You're gonna take a 16-ounce can of tomato sauce from the store, chop up an onion, chop up 3 cloves of garlic, a cup of vinegar, a 1/3 of a cup of brown sugar, and you just mix them all together, put them on the slow cooker for 8 hours on low. And then what you're gonna do, you take them out and you literally just shred them with
a fork.
Yeah, 2 forks together, could not be easier. And you wind up getting this delectable little pulled chicken dish. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sliders because this is a cocktail party.
Totally.
So we thought these were a little bit easier. By the way, slider buns, hard to find. Found
Who
these at
knew?
Whole Foods. Check it out. So what we're gonna do, I recommend using a fork because it's awfully messy. So you just spoon some of the pulled chicken on. Here you go.
Perfect.
You're
Thank
on.
you.
Since it's a Texas style barbecue, we opted out of the fancy cheeses. We went American.
Sure.
Good old American, baby. And I personally like to throw a couple of jalapenos on to your slider because it gives a little bit of kick.
Sure.
I feel Texas when I say that. So,
I'm with you.
how that was hard. Right?
Really hard.
Yeah, really
Yeah.
good. But out of this world good. So
Delicious.
we'll just plate these over here.
Perfect.
Moving right along.
And for a nice little appetizer for your guests while you're waiting to make these super difficult sliders that will be passed out, something that's apparently well known in the South. By the way, I've decided I should be Southern. There's a lot of mayonnaise and a lot of cheese, and it's really my kind of place.
I was going to say, that's different from your northern
Pretty much.
style again?
We're going to start with our old friend Hellman. And basically this is called pimento cheese spread, which apparently is just a staple of the South. There are people who actually have pimento cheese sandwiches. I know that's not your bag, but I could go with it.
Pimentos? I love those.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No,
Just
pimento.
the pimento, the roasted red pepper part?
The pimento is a euphemism for a roasted red pepper. So what we do is
I'm going to drink.
we're going to take about 3/4 of a cup of mayonnaise, a small jar of pimentos that we chopped up nicely, or roasted red peppers for those of us here in the Northeast.
Who only think they were just born inside of a green olive.
Done with that. Oh, and my cheese, excuse me.
Okay, should I start mixing this?
Yep, mix it up. We did a block of about 10 ounces or 12 ounces of really sharp grated cheddar cheese. This is really hard, people, pay attention. Okay, one last ingredient, Tabasco.
Yum.
Girl's best friend, couple shots depending on how hot you like it.
I like it
Don't
hot.
ask. And then once this is assembled, it will resemble the consistency of mayonnaise, or at least my mayonnaise. I mean, tuna fish rather. Basically, you just want to spread it on
For you is mayonnaise.
Pretty much, it's tuna swimming in mayonnaise. You spread some on a sliced baguette, like so. And as my mother would say,
you run it under the broiler, honey.
you run it under the broiler until the cheese is melted and golden and bubbly, and you have this fantastic pimento cheese spread hors d'oeuvre.
Oh, I got a little on my finger. Yeah.
It's delish, right?
Yeah, it's
And
good.
that's it. Easy peasy.
And not for nothing, it's going nicely with my matcha margarita.
Cheers.
Cool.
Dad will be happy. Okay. What we have here could be called either a side dish, if you'd like, or an appetizer.
Okay.
This is actually called Texas Caviar, and it's an original recipe that comes from the Cowgirl Hall of Fame in Santa Fe, New Mexico, which I have been to many times because I'm in it to begin with, but also because my magazine, Outside Magazine, hi Parm, has its headquarters there, and we often find ourselves after sales meetings there. Delicious restaurant. This recipe is world renowned, and you can also find the original on Epicurious, but also on our website, www.greaterbostongallagirls.com. So, Texas Caviar, you can either serve it as a side dish or you can serve it with chips. Super easy. Here we go. It's got 3 kinds of beans in it. We're going to start with the kidney bean. Jocelyn?
Mm-hmm.
I believe the original recipe only uses the black-eyed peas.
Love
without Fergie. And
they're actually very delicious.
They are, but we decided to mix it up and use 3 different kind of beans in this one.
Okay.
And our third bean is a black bean.
I noticed we're missing the lima bean.
We do not, oh, the fava bean. But we don't have any Chianti, alas. What we also add in next are pimentos, again, aka Jocelyn?
Roasted red peppers.
We learned that in our last segment. And what we did is this is a small jar of pimentos chopped up and including some of the juice, which is great.
Au jus.
Au jus. 3 garlic cloves, minced. In they go. Here's where you can use either tomatoes, 2 or 3 fresh chopped tomatoes, and jalapenos, or you can just go the easy route and buy yourself a can of Rotel and put that in there too.
Rotel is something that you don't often find above the Mason-Dixon line again.
Oh yes you do, but you have to search for it in the grocery store. It's always somewhere different. It drives me nuts.
It's in the same aisle as Major Grey, correct?
I believe so. A bunch of scallions, in they go. Some cilantro. I believe the original calls for parsley, but we go cilantro. And then you can basically put anything else you want in this, the kitchen sink. I chose some red peppers just because I like the color. And I had an avocado in the fridge and it was going to go bad, so I figured, why not?
So why the red pepper and the roasted red pepper?
Well, the red pepper is not essential to the caviar. It's what was in my fridge. That's what I'm saying. You can mix it up. Pardon the pun. Now, what you are going to do, Jocelyn, is literally going to mix this up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to refrigerate it for at least 4 to 6 hours. The longer you refrigerate it, the better it gets. Just cover it, make sure you do a nice mix, cover it with plastic wrap. In the fridge it goes, and then I like to take it out the next day. And as I said, you can either serve it as a side dish, or you, and it's so pretty, isn't it? Or you can serve it with Fritos, or with corn chips, or with pita chips. It's completely up to you.
And it seasons itself with this natural juice.
Completely.
You don't need salt or pepper.
Nothing. It's fabulous.
It's gorgeous.
Isn't it?
Oh, it smells so good. And I'm not
It's actually
really
kind of
big on
healthy
veggies.
too. Yeah. Kids will actually even eat it if you can believe it.
Now, if we could just throw some bacon in it, I'd be happy.
Bacon would be good, yes.
Yeah.
Or fatback.
Hi, Francis.
Okay, so that's about it for your Texas Caviar. Enjoy, and that's about it. Oh, we did forget one crucial element, which you don't have to put. Some people put, some people don't, but a little bit of balsamic vinaigrette. The original recipe calls for about a cup. I think that's way too much. You don't even have to put it in there if you don't want to. We'll put a little bit in there just because we have so much. It gels it all together, and yeah, that's it. Boom.
Lunch.
Okay, now here we are to true Texas food, beans and cornbread.
Bring it on.
Not get any more Texas than beans and cornbread. Okay. Cornbread we're going to make here and kind of show you how to put it together. The beans we'll talk about because it takes about 7 hours to cook in a crock pot. You throw it all in and forget about it basically. So let's start with the cornbread. Right. So we're going to start with 1 3/4 cup of yellow cornmeal, which I've already got measured out here. Okay. And then we're going to do 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. All right. Boom. And then a teaspoon of salt.
This is another toughie, I see.
This is another toughie.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm measuring a little bit here since it is kind of. There we go. We're going to do a cup of grated cheddar cheese.
Love it.
Nothing says loving like cheddar.
Yeah. Or cheddar.
Cheddar.
As one of our Gala Girls likes to say.
Cheddar cheese. All right. And then we are going to do a teaspoon of baking soda.
And this is all just our little
cornbready. This is very Texas-y.
It is very Texas-y. We're adding some cheese and jalapenos to really kick it up a notch and, you know, make it taste yummy. But you could do this traditional cornbread too. A lot of times they serve beans over the cornbread. I'm not a fan of them together. I actually am not even a fan of biscuits and gravy, which is probably, I'm going to get my Texas roots revoked. But I like them separate. I like them separate. So anyway, so we're going to do a third cup of oil and then a cup of buttermilk.
A cup of buttermilk. There you go. Buttermilk is very
perfect. It is.
Okay.
Couple eggs. Here we go. You want to start mixing that around, and I'll crack some eggs in there for you.
Okay. Here we are. I have to say, I've never really made my own cornbread. I always go straight out of the bag.
It's not hard though. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, well,
there's
really
just
not. Now
there's
I'm feeling
not
very lazy.
too much to it.
Okay, all right. Well, it looks good. Gotta tell you. Yeah, I was. We were talking about this earlier, and I was like, nobody makes their own cornbread. Everybody just buys the mix, and here we are. I'm the shortcut girl actually making cornbread.
That's right. And then we're going to dump in about 3 or 4 jalapenos chopped.
Okay. Ooh, this looks good.
Smell it?
It does. It smells good.
It smells good.
All right. So.
And then I buttered a pan. You can use oil, butter, whatever you want to do to grease the pan, and then you just dump it in.
Okay, well that couldn't have been easier.
That's right.
All right, so what do we have coming up next there, Yen?
Now we're going to do beans.
Okay.
Now the bean recipe that I use, I actually have to say I did it for the first time this weekend. It's called ranch style beans, and I did that for a very specific reason. Ranch style beans are a canned bean that is my all-time favorite in Texas. You can't find it here most of the time, but if you go to a restaurant, a barbecue restaurant in Texas, they don't even make them themselves. They open up a can and it's ranch style beans, but we had to do it old school here and we did it homemade. So basically you take a package of beans, 16-ounce thing of beans, put it in, rinse them, put it in a crock pot, and cover it with water and put 2 tablespoons of either apple cider vinegar or lemon juice and soak it overnight.
Okay.
Next morning, rinse off the beans, dump them back in the crock pot. In a skillet, saute an onion for about 10 minutes, medium-sized onion. Then 6 cloves of garlic, throw that in there for another minute.
Okay.
Then you get out your blender, your food processor, because what we're making is chili gravy to cook the beans in.
Alrighty.
So you get the food processor, dump in the onions and the garlic, and then either whole tomatoes or tomato sauce. I did tomato sauce, it's just easier. It's what I had on hand.
There you go.
And then a laundry list of spices: cumin, oregano, ancho chili powder, paprika, beef broth. You can put it all together, dump it in, 7 hours. That's it.
I was going to say, all of this is available on the website.
It's so easy. Yeah, all the measurements are. It's really easy. It's you know, it's a fairly long list of ingredients, but they're so easy.
And then you just get these delicious beans sitting in this yummy kind of broth.
My parents were in town from Texas this weekend. I served it to them. Thumbs up.
All right, well, there you go. From True Texans.
That's right.
Eat up. Okay, party atmosphere, my favorite part of the evening, because I have the mic. Okay, first we're going to do some flowers. Now, we thought that kind of a cool Texas barbecue type theme of the evening would be mason jars. Plus, as Jocelyn showed us earlier, they're better for your macho margarita. So what we're going to do is use them again to buy flowers. And I think you bought these online. They were nothing.
12 of them for $20.
Yeah. And how fun are they to drink?
Using them.
No doubt.
This is a throwback to my childhood.
Yeah.
My kids are going to start drinking out of these now.
Oh, that'll be good. Yeah.
Not the margaritas.
I was going to say we won't spike them. So we've done one arrangement earlier, but what we're going to do, I actually clipped these little roadies from my yard. So since this is a really kind of a laid back and not so frou-frou party, because it's Texas barbecue and because it could be your father as well that we're celebrating, we didn't want to go with the roses and the fancy flowers. We're going like laid back, fun in the backyard barbecue type thing. So we've got some astromerias, we've got some sunflowers. I can't help it. I love a good peony, as do you, right?
Absolutely.
Here you go. We'll just throw some of these in. Don't put it in my drink, because I do plan on finishing that. I know you were. I saw your little face. We have some asters. We have some asters, some little pepperberry things. And again, what you want these to do is just to be really kind of full. Throw them, you know, all around on whether you're on your deck or at a picnic table or whatever the case is. Just kind of rock and roll them. And they really look very, very pretty, very laid back, and they just reek of summer.
Summer colors.
Yeah. And when I say reek, I mean smell
in a good way.
Reek. But yeah, so these are going to be our little flower arrangements. Oh, aren't you pretty? So yeah, so these are going to be our flowers. And now what we're going to do is we are going to just hightail it right over to our party game. And now again, since we were talking about dads, what I did for you all, it's called Who's Your Daddy? And this is just a very easy true or false game. You know, it's all going in the same vein of the picnic table motif. But as I said, it's all very true or false. You want to hand it out to your guests as they get here. Let me throw one out to you. Okay, true or false? Bill Cosby said, if the new American father feels bewildered and even defeated, let him take comfort from the fact that whatever he does in any fathering situation has a 50% chance of being right. True or false?
True.
True. Answer is true. Very nice.
Too long a quote to make up.
Okay, Al Bundy said, what people do in the privacy of their sports stadium should be their own business.
False.
Wasn't a fan.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you, it is false because it is Phil Dunphy of Modern Family. So we've got
I love a Modern Family reference.
we've got all sorts of daddy quotes from like Rudy Giuliani, Ralph Waldo Emerson, and of course one from our dad.
Waldo Emerson wasn't a daddy.
No, it's a quote about a daddy. Although I didn't know that, so.
He lived alone in a cabin in the woods.
Yeah, again, didn't know.
Not
so bright. He had a quote about a father. Look it up, people. But what I also did was I also put in one quote about our dad, Bill Meek, and I said that our dad, Bill Meek, said, my father told me that all businessmen were sons of blanks, but I never believed him until now. True or false?
I don't remember that one.
I don't know.
No, John F. Kennedy said it. So anyway, but it will be a nice thing to throw one in about your dad. See if even he gets it right. He might forget. So there you go. So there's your little party game.
Macho Margarita.
Yeah, no doubt, right? And then, of course, lastly, we've got our soundtrack to the evening, the Texas BBQ soundtrack. We have pulled up some songs like Summer Breeze. We have a little China Grove, the Doobie Brothers, and we've got Stormy Monday, the Allman Brothers, things along those lines. And obviously, we don't want to forget our invitations. Courtesy of Textile Designs, it takes a good man to make a fine barbecue. These are all great. Check it out on our website. The links are available for you all right there. Yes, it's fabulous. So with that, we have our Texas barbecue, perfect for a Father's Day celebration. Jennifer, please come in and do join us for our last cocktail of the evening. I know. By the way, delish.
So
Very good.
Delish.
So
Definitely, I think my second favorite cocktail that we've done so far.
Yeah,
totally
this is a good one. But my favorite right now, because I'm drinking it and it's warm out.
Yeah, good point.
So with that, here's everything you need for a great summer barbecue, a great way to celebrate your dad on Father's Day, and I guess we say, an excuse for a party. Cheers.